Hello, hello. I think this worked, although my thing in the corner is still spinning around, so I'm not sure. Okay, okay. It says it's live. Um, Stop Facebook showing me pop-up things. Anyway, okay. Hi. Happy live video. This will be a quick, shorter one than before, but I wanted to get on for just a few minutes, talk about some of your writing woes, or I guess biggest struggles and frustrations related to writing. If you're a creative writer or any other kind of writer, but I'm mostly referring to creative ones now. Um, you probably know what some of these are. You probably could answer your answer those questions in your own way too. Um, and Yeah, so I have a few things I could say too. That I'll talk about. Sorry, I'm distracted with by Facebook says this has been going for 24 minutes. I didn't mean to do that, but okay, we'll see. Um, anyway, yeah, writing woes. Put your answers in the comments because I want to hear what those are, um, and hopefully address some of them in a future video. I can't address all of them today. I don't have a lot of time, but a few that are relevant, I'll talk about. I want to hear what you think though. What are your biggest struggles or frustrations related to writing or editing, related to the process? Really, I asked this question a few weeks ago to some of my followers on Twitter and some of other people, and pretty much the number one answer I've been getting is not enough time, not enough motivation. I get that, and I did a video a few weeks ago talking about, I guess, just basic time principles of how I've answered that challenge. And I know it's a struggle for all of us, but I was kind of just thinking this time as far as it relates to the craft of writing or editing, as far as it relates to like the actual process of the work. So, okay, discounting time, motivation, that kind of thing. When it comes to the actual putting of words on a page or refining of words on a page, what's the struggle for you? I want to hear your answer. Put them in the comments, and I'll talk about some of them. If not today, then hopefully in a future video because I want to do these, kind of regularly. Here's my biggest one. I told you I'd get to it. Probably my biggest one, my biggest struggle or area I know I need to grow in is wordiness. If you couldn't tell that from my just rambling here, even in this video, then then I don't know. So wordy I can't even finish a sentence, or I keep trying to move my sentences along and can't quite find a way to finish them. Anyway, wordiness slash overwriting. I'm definitely what you call an overwriter. I know this is an area I dealt with for a long time. Even in my academic papers and other forms of writing, I've always been wordy. I guess I just have a lot to say, and I want to get it all out, and I want to make sure my point comes across clearly. But I can be redundant and repetitive. Okay, that time I did it on purpose. But you get the idea. So I'm trying. I'm gradually learning to be more concise. I think I've come a long way. Not to say I've perfected the art, but I've come a long way. Um, I know my edits of book one. I've chopped things that were either words or at times as much as a whole scene. Not always that much, but I just been trying. I mean, I've been making other kinds of edits too, but I've been trying to cut things that aren't necessary. I've been trying to go a little bit more minimalistic because my book is already really long, and there might be some parts that aren't necessary. So I'm trying to find ways to condense a little bit. I don't think I can condense a lot because there's still a plot that has to happen, but condense a little bit where I can. Book two is actually shorter. I just finished writing book two. It's actually shorter. There's a few reasons for that, plot reasons, but also I think my style has become more minimalistic over time, a little bit more. Book one I wrote 10 years ago, and I'm editing it now, but I wrote the original years ago. Book two I just wrote in the past couple of years, so my style has changed a lot over that time. Um, but yeah, I want to show you a quick example of what I mean. I have here my copy of Fractured Heroes that I wrote. I think I self-published this back in 2012. So I wrote the draft in 2010 to 2011. Did maybe some minimal edits. I can't even remember how much I edited it, and then put out just a few print-on-demand copies in 2012. That a few friends have copies of. If you have one, you know who you are. When I look at this version, it's a little cringy now because I know this is not my best work, and I know. I mean, even now, many years later, I'm like, I know my style, my craft have improved, and I'm a little ashamed of what I wrote, many years ago. So here's just one example that I remembered from my editing this past round of edits. This is a scene, and I won't read it or anything because it's going to take too long. But basically, one of our heroes, Lady Light, is going to someone's house. She's investigating a villain who's a major crime boss, or at least used to be, and he lives at a big mansion. So I'm like just trying to describe her process of like going through rooms and looking for clues in this big house and things like that. And I mean, I am trying to describe the setting, which I think is which I've been told is another one of my weaknesses these days. That's probably another a topic for a future video. So it is important sometimes to describe the setting, but I just got so wordy. Like basically, okay, she takes out a security guard. Then like from here, like this huge paragraph, nothing happens really. It's just her walking through the house, like looking through her house, um, down to like the next page. Um, Down to like here is all this sequence. And I know when I was editing this past round of edits, I shortened it down a good bit. I don't know how to share my screen on Facebook video feature, but I have the document, the newer document pulled up in front of me, and I've condensed that to like a few paragraphs. I guess it's still 4 or 5 paragraphs, but much shorter ones. I'm just trying to get to the point more quickly. So that's something I've gradually learned how to do or started making myself do. Um, so a few tips for wordiness or conciseness. I've heard people say things like when you're going through your edits, pick a number. I mean, not just random number, but figure out maybe how much you want to cut your book down by, if you need to cut it down. If you're one of those people who's an overwriter like me and you need to practice conciseness, pick either, I don't know, 10 or 20 or 30 words, and cut out that many words per page. Just make yourself find those words, make yourself cut them out. I have not like numbered it that specifically yet, but I've heard that's a good practice sometimes, and just every page find a few words, 10, 20, 30, whatever, to take out. Speaker tags are a good way to do that, like he said, she said. I find I'm always trying to find more creative ways to say he said or she said, other than just the word said. But still, there's only so many times you can say answered or responded or whatever. So I mean, anytime you can take those out entirely and just do something else with them, like there's different ways to introduce dialogue, that saves you a few words there. Unnecessary descriptions. I will go into long things about characters' thought processes or their internal monologues, and sometimes that's useful. And now I've almost swung to the opposite end of the pendulum in my current writing, and I've gone more minimalistic. Like I said, I don't have a lot of that in my current writing. And so I struggle to I go back and forth between how much is necessary, between how much you should or shouldn't go inside a character's thoughts. That's maybe a different topic for a future day too, because you know, there's some writing styles that do that, and some writing styles that are more like just a movie, like you only get what you would see on a camera screen, so the outward actions and basically no inner thoughts or anything. I used to be a lot more toward the former extreme. Now I'm a lot more toward the extreme of close to the extreme of no inner thoughts. I still have a few, but anyway, these long things you can cut out. Content edits are different. I mean, they're hard to do, and it's not for me. It's not as easy as a word edit, as like cutting out words. It's like actually cutting out whole chunks of the story. You have to find what's important for your story and what's not. But I realized there were some backstory scenes, of characters who weren't even the main characters who I was trying to establish, and I was like, yeah, I can cut a few of those because it's not helping anyone, or it's not doing what I originally intended it to do, and there are quicker and easier ways to do that, things like that. So all good places you can cut. But I would say if you're an overwriter like me, practice conciseness. And one of the best ways to do that is just to read your work again and again, find places to cut it out. Cut out 10, 20, or 30 words per page. I know there are some apps that can help you with that. I haven't really used them myself, but I've heard good things. You can search for an app that would help you with cutting out some of those extra words. I also saw an exercise one time. I think it was at my work because I am a content writer for work. It actually took the plot of Star Wars, just the first Star Wars movie, and or even just the opening scenes, like it wasn't even the whole movie, and it gave you like I guess some pre-written text that was I don't know 500 words to start with, and it said, "Can you rewrite this in 300 words? Now can you rewrite it in 200 words? Now can you rewrite it in 100 words?" I did an exercise like that. I'm sure you could either I mean, you could Google something like that, find an exercise like that, or just take your own writing. Take a 500 word chunk, ask yourself, can I rewrite this in 250 words and still say the main points? And you can't always, it depends on what it is. I mean, cutting out that many words, you'll always lose something, whether it's description or hopefully not plot points. But I'm not saying that you have to reduce the size of your novel by half. Just find a passage that you know is wordy, practice conciseness, and take it from there. So it's a skill to learn. I mean, I've been learning this for at least 5 years. I remember in grad school, specifically, one of the times I was challenged to write a short paper, like 2 to 3 pages, rather than a long paper, like 10 to 12 pages. And by the time you get to grad school, a lot of times the shorter paper is harder. So I remember being challenged in a good way to be concise in my writing, and that's something I'm still learning. I've come a long way, but haven't mastered it yet. So keep practicing, keep being concise. If I go too much longer, I'm going to not be concise. So I'll end it here. If you have writing woes or struggles you'd like to talk about in a future video, feel free to chime in either here or on my author page, or you can email me. If you're not part of my email list already, the link's in the chat there, or in the event in the video description. There's a link that starts with Chipper Maker, and you can sign up for my mailing list where you'll hear updates about my story Fractured Heroes and future content videos like these, and hopefully ones that involve conversations with other people too. So for now, keep writing, keep listening, and have a great weekend. Thanks. Bye.